You've probably heard of Darkwood. The funny British man made a short video about it once, and it's just a really great game. In fact, it is one of my favorite games ever. So I was surprised to find that no one has done any Darkwood challenge runs, except for this one guy who has done a few, which you should definitely check out as well. I took this opportunity to try out a challenge run of my own, seeing as no one has done any. And what I came up with is a no NPC run, meaning those dialogue boxes with the extremely detailed character designs that are required to progress quests, all a no-go. Now this doesn't sound too bad on its own until you realize that all traders also have dialogue boxes, meaning that not only can I not initiate any quests, leaving me with no info on where to go, but I also don't have access to traders, so I'm stuck with only resources I scavenge for. And since I'm only partially a masochist, I chose to do this on hard rather than nightmare, and you'll soon see why that was a good decision. So with that, let's try beating Darkwood without talking to NPCs. So the dry meadow is honestly barely different from a normal playthrough, as you don't meet any NPCs apart from Wolfman and a trader. You can explore nearly everything in the dry meadow in one day, which is what I did. I made a plank with nails, got some basic resources, killed a bunch of dogs, and had an extremely uneventful night. By the time I was planning to move to the Silent Forest, I was swimming in resources that didn't have much use for me currently, like 2 pieces of fabric without any rope and a pistol magazine. I did struggle quite a bit with the savage in the Silent Forest entrance for some reason, which let me know not to get too over myself for now. The bloodbath will begin soon enough. Silent Forest is where the downsides of this challenge start to show themselves. Not only can I not accept the Wolfman's quest, which is the easiest way to complete chapter 1, but I also don't have access to every other quest that gives out pretty important loot for the early game. And worst of all, I don't have access to the bike man, meaning I shouldn't have stocked up so much on resources in the dry meadow. As you will see later, not being able to move my stuff is quite a severe downside. My first day in the Silent Forest consisted of making small talk with some of the locals by showing off my plank of wood to them. Oh! Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean anything. Please get away from me. Whoa! Things escalated pretty quickly as one of them followed me home. I guess he thought we hit it off more than we did. Oh no. I made a severe lapse in my judgment. While I appreciated the attention, I was forced to do what any self-respecting citizen of Darkwood should do when assaulted. Maul him with a weapon and steal his belongings. That was kind of close. Having just brutally murdered my neighbors, I injected myself with some of my delicious homemade mushroom jam, known for its relaxing properties and possibility of vivid dreams that may or may not affect the real world. I actually had a dream as well, where after following a trail of shiny stones, I stumbled upon a subscribe button. Wonder what that means. Anyways, when I woke up, I was holding one of those shiny stones, which is completely worthless to me in this playthrough. Afterwards, I met another one of my new neighbors. I politely asked for some directions to the nearby village, after which he gave me a welcome gift without any hesitation. Oh. It's my property now, bitch. Thanks for the ammo. Oh! The second night did not have much going on either. Show me the goods. Oh! Except this banshee visited me and kept wanting to hug me, completely without my consent. Being that I'm afraid of physical contact, I stared at a wall for 2 hours, and shockingly, the banshee respected my boundaries and left me alone without any resistance. Some weirdo in a gas mask visited me in the morning, so I promptly shooed him away with a quick smack on the head. Seems he got the message. My first stop on day 3 was of course the village. The first thing I did when I got there was ransack their shrine for absolutely no benefit of my own. Upon meeting the first villager I saw, something awoke in me. I realized what I had to do in this forest. I needed to cleanse it, to rid it of all its inhabitants. What villagers, bro? There's no one looking at you already. Finishing up my average day in Poland, I finally managed to craft a weapon to surpass the plank with nails. Something every American loves more than his own family.
Main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know no.
After making sure every living being I could reach in the village was no longer moving, I proceeded to the inconspicuous well in the middle of the village. With my newfound firepower, its inhabitants proved to be a non-threat, and I managed to get my hands on a key that allowed me to murder yet another villager in cold blood. After a job well done, I rewarded myself with another dose of mushroom jam. This time though, I dreamed about a place I'm definitely not welcome in. A church. A worker there of course tried to kick me out, but with every kill my bloodlust only grows stronger. And even dreams are not safe from it. Waking up, the wolfman tried to talk with me once more, but I just ran away in fear as I knew I wasn't ready to face him just yet. His time will come soon enough. Following this, I decided to finish up in the Silent Forest by visiting the Sow. And I think you know what I did already. Hey bro. Hey bro. Hey bro. Hey bro. Sorry man. My killing spree almost took the better of me, as I didn't realize how late into the evening I was busy with my work. I don't think I've ever cut it this close to nighttime before in this game. Pistol in hand, and still stuck with the stupid plank for my melee weapon, I was ready to fight off all the remaining citizens of the Silent Forest. It seems my name had already spread throughout Darkwood, leaving everyone hostile towards me. As a side note, it was actually a real struggle to find an upgrade to the plank. In usual runs, I would always buy the shovel head from the trader and get the shovel nearly instantly after entering. Combined with not being able to get hard to find materials through quest lines, it took me quite a while before I could finally make a good melee weapon. By day 4, I was swimming in resources once again. More specifically in gasoline.
Whenever I need a quenching, refreshing beverage, I reach for one of these. Really evens out the cravings, if you know what I'm talking about. Delicious.
My original intention was to activate the special event in the village that occurs after killing the soul, where the mayor lures you into the basement. However, I didn't realize if you kill everybody in the village, no one can call you down to the basement in the first place. So I already fumbled my genocide run here, as the mayor unfortunately was spared by my spontaneous decision making. I wanted to make up for this huge misstep by finding the musician next. But he doesn't even appear unless you talk to the chicken lady first. And since everyone in the village is dead already, they won't dig their way into chapter 2, where the musician usually follows them. Meaning that's a second victim that I already missed. Even if I finish the run, it will be a loss in my heart. With a string of bad decisions under my belt, I could at least let out my frustrations on Piotrek and finally move on to the old woods. Hi. Bye. Still shaken by my inability to commit mass genocide, I wasn't even able to fend off my neighbors this night. Wait. Oh! No! Are you kidding me? My time in the old woods, to say the least, was an absolute disaster. At first it started out fine. I found my way to the hideout, had a dream about a luxurious life in the most expensive Polish apartment, and woke up to the smell of my delicious mushroom jam spreading across the building. But then, I went out in search of the doctor's house. The bastard who told me moving to this forest would make me rich. It's because of him that my bloodlust went out of control in this forest. And it's because of me that he will soon meet his demise. But first, I had to find his house, which for some reason was legit the hardest thing I had to do in the whole run. I did a full circle around the outskirts of the map, to no avail, and took so long walking around again that I had to stay the night in this awful place. The hallways are narrow and claustrophobic, not like my cozy cottage back in the Silent Forest. In fact, I disliked this hideout so much that this was actually my first time ever spending the night in it. despite playing the game several times. Starting day 6 off in the rain, I went back to searching the same areas, again to no avail. I thought I didn't have access to the doctor's house or even softlock myself. Out of frustration, I decided to visit the Wolfman's home to put an end to his rumors. But the ridiculous amount of dogs managed to damage me enough to make me fall back. I can't find the doctor's place. I've checked all of this. Nowhere. All of this, nowhere. I'm pretty sure I've checked all of this. Just nowhere to be seen. After visiting the broken down church and finding a shovel head, I thought this would finally mean I could get rid of my plank with nails. But this is where the lack of bikeman once again made things more difficult than it should have, as I didn't have the materials for a shovel in this hideout. Instead of spending another day walking around aimlessly, I then decided to check my notes to see if I missed any obvious clues, which I in fact did. The doctor's house was in the western side of the woods, where I did most of my exploring anyway. Turns out, it was right next to the hideout the whole time. I wasted more than a day of exploring on this. The doctor's house, while necessary for progressing to chapter 2, held something way more valuable to me. An axe. And finally, I could feel tangible progress in my equipment after spending so long with this weak ass plank. Before I decided to enter the underground bunker, I decided to stop by the church basement, hoping to find some extra goodies I could bring with me. Unfortunately for me, I didn't remember the game well enough to know this would be a terrible decision. Not only did I mess up fighting the dogs in the basement and died once, I also somehow managed to lure another dog right to the entrance to the basement, where it would instantly attack me anytime I left to the surface, and resulted in another lost life. No! Before going to get my items back, I decided to refresh myself with another dose of mushroom jam. Why am I not using my ability? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I've lost several lives because I'm not using my abilities. And had a pleasant dream about murdering a chomper, which left me with another shovel head with no way to craft it yet.
Insanity is. Insanity is.
No.
After finishing up with that mess of a situation in the church, I finally reached the person who started it all. The doctor. Hello. You know how hard it was to find you? You know how hard it was to find you? Oh. I did it. With my main goal done here in the old woods, I crafted anything I needed with the ridiculous amount of resources I had built up, including a beefy shovel, one of my favorite weapons in any game, and made my way to the underground bunker. I dug up some shotgun shells and weapon parts. For anyone wondering, you have to only go inside the bunker once you have the shovel. Otherwise, you get locked out of finding this loot. With that, I reached the swamp hideout. Now chapter 2, despite technically being much harder than the old woods, still doesn't even come close to my struggles in the old woods. The main problem here is usually you get a steady supply of resources thanks to the 3, but without them you are again forced to explore for all your resources. It's just a bit more exacerbated in this chapter. Although you get better stuff from ruins and such, the loot is also locked behind harder combat encounters, which use up the resources you are looking for. This particularly affects ammo, as I was very low on magazines and shotgun shells despite using my weapons very sparingly. This honestly made me realize how overpowered the traders are in this game. After every night, you are able to replenish basically any resource you are low on. Without that backup, the game was actually much more stressful and engaging than I expected. My first goal when making it to the swamp was to find the holes to make exploration easier. Thankfully, unlike another place I was looking for, I didn't have too much trouble finding them. I didn't really make any progress, but I did mark a lot of important locations on the map. Nothing happened during the night, which was odd considering how far I had made it already. Combus. Comactus. I definitely felt like I hadn't killed enough lately. My hands were itching for some action. Yo, I didn't even talk to this guy. How can I lie if I never talked to you, bro? Come on, think about it. I'm not going in there. That's just like bad vibes all around. If you hear music, just get out. Don't go there. So the next day started off with a venture into the elephants area, where I was so frightened to see a woman of my age that I immediately swung out of fear rather than bloodlust. Stealing their oxygen tanks meant I was that much closer to leaving this forest for good. Next on my list was the mushroom granny. For someone this peaceful, I was surprised to find she was hiding a shotgun near her house. God damn. Expecting a lot of resistance at night after gaining so much firepower, I was surprised to find another extremely uneventful night. I was frankly confused by how easy the swamp had been so far, especially after what a nightmare the last area was. The next place I went to, the snail cottage, honestly might have been my favorite moment from this playthrough. I don't know if I just don't remember how my first playthrough went, but it felt like killing the snail caused a seriously terrifying event to occur. I found a small patch of land that I didn't know existed until now. At the bottom I found some sort of important growth that I instinctively hid. The sound design here honestly terrified me. What did I do? I've never seen this before. I can't believe this game can still unsettle me. This is my third time playing this game. I'm still like... I cannot play this game. What have I done? Did I just throw? Am I cooked? I still don't know what breaking that growth does. I don't know if it even does anything. But I sure as hell wasn't expecting to be scared by this game, even after playing it so much. The junkyard consisted of a lot of digging, a lot of backtracking, and a lot of human spiders to kill. Although there's not much to say, I did get the compressor parts, which meant I could finish the game already. Look at this shit, bro! What the hell is that? So I went through the swamp village, getting rid of basically the only survivor left in my path. While I could finish everything right here, I had one final loose end to tie before I could leave the swamp. Shiny stone? Useless. Absolutely useless. What? I forgot to turn off the generator. After spending a few more days relaxing by the nice beaches of the swamp, I finally got a letter from someone I had a lot of history with. The Wolfman was the final living being I had to get rid of before I could rest properly in the comfort of my home. After spreading the word of my deeds across the land, turning anyone who didn't even know me against me, I knew he wouldn't go down easily. But neither would I. He first let out a few of his dog friends that protected him last time I tried to reach him. This time though, even without any of my equipment, they were not a problem. Then finally, I went head to head with the man himself. Let's go! Let's go! It was done. I could finally leave. And so I did. I set the talking tree blocking my path on fire. I survived through the onslaught of burning villagers coming after me, and I emerged victorious. I reached my home. I could finally rest. But something was still irking me. I could not let myself sleep. I had to finish what I started. I found the hole underneath my bed. It led to what would be my final destination. With a sense of determination, I walked around, searching for a way to get rid of the being. I found a flamethrower, the perfect weapon for the job. Not only taking its life, but every other person who was still trapped in the forest, I finally lay down. Nothing else to be done or said. This would have been a cool ending if I didn't accidentally lock myself out of killing the musician, who's the only person left in the entire forest. If you didn't know, if you kill every interactable NPC in the game, there's actually unique dialogue in the ending, showing how much of a monster you are. That was it. Not everyone perished. Altogether though, this was a surprisingly engaging run, despite not interacting with any of the lore or story of the game, which is in my opinion the best part. The lack of traders forces you to scavenge more than you would usually in a run, and the lack of directions or rewards from quests means you have to scour every inch of the map for objectives. While I wouldn't call this run that challenging, it definitely feels very different from a normal playthrough. So I would honestly recommend trying out this run yourself. But that's it from me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I have no idea what I'm gonna make next, but if you have ideas for survival horror games or challenge runs for them I could make a video for next, let me know. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, as it really does help tremendously. Thanks for watching.
Delicious.